York City subway has collapsed.
Commuters and a transit advocacy group, Passengers United, are not only upset that they're paying more, but they're also demanding a system that works.
We want better service. When do we want it? Now.
Chants of better service echoed down 42nd Street Sunday morning as members of Passengers United marched into the subway, rallying against the fare hike and for accountability. The group's vice president, Jack Nierenberg, says the MTA's latest increases have gone too far.
It's been an absolute mess, and it's going to continue to be an absolute mess, even as there have been glitches with the Omni system. Many people
it's
who
a
are
disaster.
in the outer boroughs.
And because of that, the city's struggling to get people to pay to ride the train.
Commuters not paying their fare is a growing problem across the country, but nowhere is it worse than here in New York. It's estimated almost half of all riders don't pay, resulting in $1 billion in lost revenue. Now, new measures are being tested out to stop fare
those
beaters.
aren't working.
But are they working?
No.
Here's Ann Mercogliano.
Can anything stop them?
No.
They climb over. They even slide below. Flagrant fare evaders are everywhere on the New York City subway, despite authorities installing an arsenal of new devices to combat the problem.
Those don't work.
Many of the old turnstile bars are getting a makeover with the installation of these paddles to prevent fare dodgers from jumping over. And these new plastic door gates seem to be impenetrable. So, are they? Apparently not. One after the other at this station near Times Square, the paddles didn't seem to stop these fare jumpers. This woman crawls right underneath.
With Inside Edition, you didn't pay your fare, right?
Oh no. And those plastic door gates?
It's a joke to everyone here. Besides, they want the new communist mayor to make it all free anyways.
Watched as these fare evaders outsmarted the gates. Their trick? The first guy pays the fare while the two behind slide past
Oldest
before
trick in
the
the
gates
book.
close.
You guys paid the fare? No.
But at
Police
least
are standing
they
right
got
there.
kicked out by cops. These subway riders are already making a mockery of the plastic gates by filming fare-beating hacks and posting them online.
That's crazy.
Danny Fisher even put on what he calls the Fare Evasion Olympics to show the ineffectiveness of the new plastic gates.
We're here for New York City's very first Fare Evasion Olympics.
In this event, these contestants scale the gates.
It's like clearly not that much more effective.
But it costs billions of dollars to redo all the gates in the name of saving billions of dollars. The subway is just a scam on the entire city.
You know, whatever the other turnstiles were.
This crew is taking fare evasion to the extreme. One by one, they all crawl beneath these gates on their stomachs. And to avoid paying, this guy throws his jacket over the gate sensors to prevent the doors from closing. And just like that, they all file through.
Why do you not pay the fare on the New York City subway?
Okay, so sometimes I don't pay the fare because they're upping the price on the fare. Right now it's up to $3, but there's a lot of bad things that's happening on the train, like as far as the service, the times when the train comes. There's a lot of homeless people on the trains sleeping. People are getting hurt.
Oh, but the mayor says, you know what? I don't want to do any more homeless encampment sweeps. I want to just let people live wherever they want to live. And I'm going to spend all this money on these new gates to stop fare evasion. And even though fare evasion's not right, the riders see deteriorating service all around them and feel like they're getting ripped off.
It's already an insult to injury that the MTA removed essential bus stops, but now they've gotten rid of fare access, people's ability to pay when they don't have access to debit
they made
cards,
it cost
credit
more.
cards, contactless payment, easy access to smartphones to figure out how that works.
Subway and bus fare has gone up to $3, and express buses now cost $7.25. Metro cards are being phased out in favor of Omni, which now includes new fare caps.
If
we never needed any of this.
$3, fill the bus trips. Every night, bus trips are being canceled throughout the city.
The Long Island Railroad and Metro North fares are also up at about 4.5%, but both now have updated discounts, new day passes, and mobile ticket options.
This is a Manhattan.
They're just making it dangerous.
Riders weigh in.
It's not an issue, the 10 cents, thankfully for me personally, but you don't know what MTA is actually doing with the funds.
They're not doing anything with the funds. Look around at the subway. Look at how it is deteriorating. They're not fixing anything. They're not making the subway safer. All they're doing is taking the money and giving it out to whoever's well connected enough to get the job installing the new gates that don't work. Look at this. I was at the subway the other day and you see this MTA fare agent wave someone through the emergency exit. So even the people working at the subway don't even think it's worth paying for sometimes. Meanwhile, last month, they lost all their federal funding, and now the city has no idea what to do.
Second Avenue subway is in jeopardy. The agency now demanding the Trump administration release federal funds already set aside for the multi-billion-dollar project. That subway expansion aims to increase service on the east side between Midtown and East Harlem. The MTA says it is prepared to sue if the money does not come soon. This 11's just...
They have a subway system that loses billions per year, and they want America's money so they can build 3 new stops that no one is going to pay for. What an absolute scam.
And now the MTA says that this subway funding fight could send them right back before a judge.
Oh, really?
That's really the issue, is we're going to hit the wall at some point, not too distant future, and we just need everybody to understand, including
what
the
are
feds,
you doing with the money you have?
The consequences of continuing to, to shut down funding.
They need other people's money to do anything here.
And so the MTA firing off a letter to the U.S. Department of Transportation Wednesday, laying out that the MTA is ready to sue for nearly $60 million in reimbursements.
They need $60 million that they're going to sue America for, yet their own system loses $1 billion or more every single year. Think about that for a second. We've been hearing about all this fraud in America. We got some fraud right here.
Roughly half of the $7 billion project is federally funded.
Oh.
The MTA is planning to award more contracts soon aimed at extending the Q train up 2nd Avenue to East 125th Street.
Never gonna happen.
That leg calls for digging out new stations and then building out those sites. The cost projection, about $2 billion.
They could pay for that if they would collect the
fares.
This
phase of 2nd Avenue subway will lead to there being 300,000 daily riders on this line between the 2 phases.
Half who don't pay.
That is, I think, more people than ride the subway in virtually every other American transit.
But why do we want to expand service people don't pay for? You see, that's the most ridiculous thing about the whole public transit system in New York. It's getting robbed every day, and we want to spend all of this money to expand it. That is stupid. If anything, we need to enforce the fares. We need to stop letting people get on for free. We need to stop letting people go down there and commit crime. We need to stop letting it become dangerous and unsafe. And we need to help the people in the subway that think there's nowhere else for them to go. But just before we continue, here's something that's been bothering me a lot lately. We're feeding AI platforms our deepest thoughts, our financial information, our business ideas, our plans for the future, even our health concerns, and we're just supposed to trust these platforms. OpenAI literally has a former director of the National Security Agency sitting on its board of directors right now. And these companies, they're all planning to monetize the conversations we have with their systems. Plus, they're even requiring government ID now to use some of their models. And they censor everything and redirect you when you ask basic questions without giving you the truth. I don't know about you, but this is not the future that I signed up for. And that's why I started using Venice.ai. Venice is a private, uncensored artificial intelligence alternative. Your prompts stay on your device, not on their servers. No surveillance, no ID required, no artificial guardrails telling you what you can and cannot ask. Plus, Venice AI runs open source models, so you're not locked into some company's corporate agenda. You can generate images, analyze documents, ask private health questions, and even generate artificial intelligence characters, all of it private on your device. Nobody's spying on what you're doing and then reselling it to somebody else. And what's really cool is Venice AI's free accounts get solid daily limits. And if you want to go further, their pro plans give you unlimited text and way more images. If you want an AI that actually respects you, follow the link right here and go to venice.ai/cash and use code CASH for 20% off the pro plan. That's venice.ai/cash, code CASH. Links will be in the description of this video so you can stop feeding surveillance machines. Give Venice a try today. Now let's get back to the video.
Subway riders say a new gate system designed to reduce fare evasion is causing chaos, confusion, and even raising safety concerns. Addie Guajardo has the story.
Better spend more money to fix that. Look at this.
A new fare gate at the Broadway and Lafayette subway station
What a joke.
Now sounds like a fire station, and it's sending New York City riders into a tapping frenzy.
It's pretty chaotic.
At time, leaving riders flushed
Cards
with fear.
don't work. Look at this person stuck.
Our camera captured a woman with her head pinched between the gates.
Look at this, that little kid.
Less than an hour later, a toddler's head was trapped between the plastic doors, and the father jumped into action.
Crazy.
Miedo. The mother described the moment as scary. Elian, ¿cómo te sientes? Bien. The child said he was okay. This isn't the first time this has happened since the modern Fairgate pilot program rolled out on December 19th.
Okay, so you gotta understand, these pilot programs, they have, I would call them the pilot program Olympics going on, where the city spends a whole bunch of money on all of its favorite contractors and has them install a new gate system somewhere, and then they monitor it for a year and install another one somewhere else. We've got these things all over the place. Every single time they set one of these up, they say, oh, this is to help people get on the subway. This is to stop fare evasion. But none of that stuff ever works. It just spends money. You see, all of this is about money leaving the pockets of the people that live here so that they can just ask for more.
We say this week 2 other children got stuck at the gate and 1 was taken to the hospital. We reached out to the MTA for a comment on the child transported to the hospital. They released a statement reading in part, as we evaluate their performance, we're learning more every day about how to design modern, effective fare gates for New York City.
Okay. How does the biggest public transit system in the entire country not know how to design a modern, effective fare gate? How come they don't know how to do that already? Should they even be in this business?
This is one of 3 modern gates being tested at several stations to help improve fare compliance, system accessibility, and passenger
flow. Well, we saw it doesn't work.
If you've ever ridden the New York City subway, you simply tap and go. But many here say they have to tap and wait.
Like, I just want to tap and go, but it seems like it's slowing everyone down.
We witnessed several riders skip out on paying in plain sight of MTA employees and police, while some are wary.
Right. See, that's the problem. They've got the news, and they've got people that are running through the fancy new gates that are supposed to stop the fares in front of the news and MTA employees and the police, and nothing is happening. You have to put people in jail for stuff like this. If people do stuff like this, there should be a consequence. But because there's no consequence, everybody goes and does it. That's why it keeps happening. Nobody's afraid of anything. And then you have statistics that show that most of the time when somebody in the subway does something really reprehensible, they also had to commit the crime of fare evasion to get in and do that in the first place. They didn't pay the fare and then go into the subway and do something they shouldn't have.
New system, others are excited for the technology.
Just easy to get through, fast, efficient. It was just very good.
I think it's really cool. I like the use of AI.
We took an informal poll to get a pulse on the new system.
He's great.
Nay, no.
Right.
What? No.
Yeah.
Take this down. Take it all.
The problem that they have with the subway is they're too busy focused on quote unquote improvements that don't do the 2 things riders care about. Riders want to be safe, and riders want to get where they're going on time. Those are the 2 problems they will not ever get around to fixing.
The newest model subway cars have been rolling out since 2023. The R211s have wider doors. Some of them have the open gangway design. No doors between the cars.
Oh, great, wider
Catch
doors.
These models on the A, B, C, G, and Staten Island Rail. What's the next generation subway car going to be? MTA officials called us to the car facility in Sunset Park, Brooklyn for a briefing.
In this one procurement, going to replace roughly 1/3 of the entire MTA subway fleet.
Again,
this request makes it official, the largest purchase of subway cars in MTA history.
Oh, how much?
More than 1,100 for the 1, 3, and 6 lines, with an option for another $1,250 on the 2, 4, and 5. Proposals are due in September, with the new generation cars scheduled to arrive in the early 2030s. MTA Chairman Jano Lieber says the cars are visible proof of the $68 billion capital plan for improvements.
Wow, so $68 billion in capital improvements for the subway. And what are they spending it on? They're spending it on visual improvements, not service improvements, not safety improvements, That's stupid. Now look at this. The propaganda machine is in overdrive here. We've got the MTA talking about how the subway, how it's on time, it's running. And when the trains are on time, well, look at this. 18% of the time, they're still late, which is totally unacceptable. And it says right here, they removed some of their worst performing days and scammed everybody with their statistics, which means every time there's a weather-related delay, which everyone knows happens, you go down there and it's raining and everything's delayed. There's snow, everything's delayed. No, we removed all that. And look at this. After the storm, the blizzard that the mayor took a lot of flack for, the on-time performance slid down to 74%. In the days after, which means that more than 25% of the time the train is actually late. And this is just what they're willing to tell us. And while they brag about $68 billion worth of capital improvements, the people running the subway constantly complain about how old it is and use that as an excuse for why it doesn't work, yet they never fix it or repair it.
That we are doing is behind the scenes.
Oh yeah?
We talked about state of good repair. We're doing all the unsexy stuff that my predecessors didn't have the money or were otherwise not able to get to.
So why isn't it working?
Power systems, track, signals, the structures that haven't been touched in 100 years.
The next generation cars would replace cars with orange seats. Older models require more maintenance. The next order would include a lot more open gangway style cars.
Well, that's a problem.
Inviting new ideas and approaches, particularly for materials that are less tested in our system than they are elsewhere in the world.
Crews at the new railcar facility have been doing the required testing as new cars arrive.
Since opening this facility, we've commissioned 50 new cars into service and are on track to be able to start doing 30 cars a month.
This new facility opened in November. It gets the train.
So they have a whole brand new facility for a bunch of brand new cars that are super expensive and actually cost even more because of inflation. And they say that they can't keep the old cars running. So how are they gonna keep the new cars running? Okay, so look at this. The cost of these cars is $500 million more than what they lose to fare evasion. And these are the new deals right here that they're so excited about, which they don't have the money for, which they won't stop bragging about for some reason. And then there's the whole congestion pricing scam. Remember, they started taxing every single car on the roads so that they would get money to help the subway. They told us we were gonna have a brand new subway, everything was gonna be fine when they jammed this congestion pricing through, and that's not working. Congestion pricing was supposed to force people on the subway, but only 7.7% more rides were taken during congestion pricing than before it, and ridership is still 25% lower than what it does prior to 2020. And look, it's pretty obvious to me why things are a mess down there. As the gentleman on Inside Edition said, it's dangerous down here. People don't feel like they're getting their money's worth. The trains are never on time. If they would just take all of this money that they have and get people from point A to B, which is the purpose of the subway, without having to risk their lives every single day on their commute, the system would recover. You would have stores that would want to come back and open up in the subway, not all these vacant storefronts that also cost them money. A well-run system is something that people will pay for. It is something that people will want to use. It's not something that will be stolen from, especially if you start putting fare evaders in jail. What do you think about that? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.